My name's David Leeuw. I'm from Fort Wayne. I worked at a restaurant right out of culinary school called Junk Ditch Brewery. And then from there, I worked in Indianapolis at the Smoking Goose Meadery. I learned probably the most out of all my jobs there. And then I worked at the Alexander downtown in Cityway. And then after that, my fiance was lucky enough to take me to South Florida, and I worked at Marriott Harbor Beach Resort in Fort Lauderdale. I'm actually a cancer survivor, so food became super important to me. It's a trade, but it's also something that you have to be passionate about. It's a trade and it's an art form, and you always have to balance the two. I like things to look as natural as possible. Sometimes that's more work, but like to have it look like something that maybe your grandma would do if she got lucky with colors and stacked it high for you. I'm constantly looking at food, exploring new avenues, like looking at things. I try to put things that nobody's ever heard of on the menu, but are also super familiar in a strange way. On the new menu we're developing, I would like to put a tagine with an Ethiopian curried butter on a halibut. It's just curried tomato sauce with some roasted vegetables, and then just a very bright and like warming curried butter just to round out that whole dish. So I'm taking 2 different curries from 2 different areas of the world. I like to do all my work before service. I like long glazes, curing, smoking, stuff like that. I get a lot of influence from Smoking Goose, but the more work I can do beforehand, the better and more flavor I can develop on the plate for the guests. I'm really drawn to charcuterie. It's the way of eating meat unadulterated, which sounds strange, but you get all of those flavors. You know, if you've had a hog that's been eating acorns, if you just cure it with salt, you can taste the life it lives. It's really interesting, and like when you get down into it, it's really cool, and it's super traditional. It's an art form that's been around, you know, since before the medieval era. It's literally based on where it is in the country. A Virginia ham, you cure in Virginia because of how the weather is. You would hang it outside, and then you would smoke it in the spring to keep the bugs away. And then in the winter, it's drier outside, so it'll pull moisture out of the hog, and then you're ready in the fall. And then that's how people would just live. Very anthropological. It's very tied to the place it's produced. Usually in the kitchen, I'm the one that spends the most time researching food. And it's not always the most helpful thing to do, but I definitely know a lot about ingredients, especially in central Indiana. It's something I definitely missed in Florida. I would really like to bring my sense of creativity, bring, you know, an interesting change to the menu, something familiar, something different. If the guest comes here, I would like to educate them, because I'd like to have some of my passion rub off on them. So if they go home, they'll know what a tagine is, and then they can tell people what that is. I love Indiana. It sounds strange. I remember in my interview here, I had to sell Indiana to Hotel Carmichael. Florida was perfect for me. It was everything I needed, but being home, knowing the ingredients and who I can buy from and what grows here is super important to me. It's such an incredible opportunity for me right now in my career to be creative and to really nurture like my own management skills and abilities. I really enjoy Chef Chris, just her personality. She's a great person. You don't always get that in hospitality. Even like the upper management crew, you can just tell that they're genuinely good people and they want to look out for you, but they also understand that it's a business. So having that balance is really incredible and important. I'm really excited about the braised octopus with the Robusto sauce. In Florida, that was the dish that really changed my trajectory. It's always been good to me. I developed it playing around in Indiana at the Alexander. I put it on the dish in Florida, and then from there, I gained more and more trust from my exec sous, and I got a lot more dishes on the menu because of that. If I was a dish on the menu, I would be the sour broth. It's different, but a lot like every other short rib dish, and it's a lot of work up front.